3 months ago, my heart was skipping beats. My hands were shaking. My feet hurt so bad I could barely wear shoes. Well, unless you count flip flops as real footwear. I thought I was just falling apart, one dry elbow and heart palpitation at a time. Turns out it wasn't age, it was freaking alcohol. So, in this video, I'm sharing the surprising things I've gotten back after going alcohol free for over 90 days body, brain, and everything in between. Hey there, this is Lisa Renee with the Lisa Renee Project. And it's been over 3 months, 1/4 of a year, because that sounds so much more dramatic, since I've had any wine at all. I rarely drank anything else, like beer or hard liquors, so I only reference the wine. So I'm going to be honest, I don't miss the wine. I don't miss any alcohol at all. But I did miss something else, something I didn't even realize was gone until it came back. That's soft skin, steady hands, next to pain-free feet, as best I could hope for, mental clarity and focus. Who knew that when I stopped pouring the wine and actually started pouring life back into my body, this is what I've gotten back. And I didn't expect most of it. Before I quit drinking, before I even decided to quit drinking, I honestly thought most of how I felt was just aging. Being over 60, dry skin, part of just getting older. A little forgetful, foggy, normal, right? My feet hurting every morning. I'd get up in the morning, put my feet on the floor, and it was like, okay, let's make sure I can stand before I walk because they hurt. Blame it on bad shoes or being on my feet too much. But here's the truth. I had no idea how much of me I had lost until I started to get it back and started actually feeling like myself, really feeling like myself again. So let's start with something simple, my skin. So it started around week 4. I remember touching my arm one day or evening, and I was thinking, wait a minute, that's soft, like moisturized without even trying, right? And then I used to go through, bottles of lotion. Okay, not bottles. I used to use lotion all the time. Elbows like sandpaper or worse. If you have dogs, those dry, scaly patches your dog gets on their elbows. Dog elbows. That's what I had. That was me. Now my skin is actually drinking water instead of wine, and it shows. So the next thing I noticed was my hands had gotten steadier. My hands had been so shaky for such a long time. I thought, okay, just caffeine. My father had Parkinson's. I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm getting the Parkinson's. Or maybe it was just nerve, or again, I thought, maybe it's just aging, 60 something. But guess what? It wasn't. 3 months in, the shakes in my hand are barely noticeable. I can use a computer mouse without chasing the mouse pointer around the screen. If you know, you know. And that might not sound very life-changing, but when your hand's calm, everything feels more in control. It was really disturbing for me, so it kind of felt like I was out of control of my own body. And speaking of which, let's talk feet. I had a condition I learned that is called extensor tendinitis. And there's not only pain in walking, but it's pain with anything on top of the foot. You know, how the top of the shoe and the tongue and the laces or whatever it is sits on top of the foot. That's so painful that I'd either have to wear them like scuffs and I couldn't really walk in them, or, I just quit wearing them altogether and started wearing flip flops because that was the only thing that was comfortable on my feet. And all that pain has not magically vanished. I'm not skipping through life in high heels. Okay, I never wore high heels. But, fitness shoes. I'm not running around in fitness shoes. But before this, I could barely wear shoes at all. Barely. I mean, like I said, flip flops every day, all day. And that was not good because, you slip and slide around. If you're over 60, you may not notice this when you're in your 20s at the beach. But when you get older, your balance is everything. And flip flops do not create a balanced scenario. But now I can actually wear shoes for a couple hours at a time. But that's a huge win. Not glamorous, but it's my life. It's real life, So I just thought, okay, this is as good as it gets, right? You go through life and you get a couple small wins and you're like, all right, so I'm a little better here. This is it. This is good. But wait, it's not just my feet, okay? My focus locks in, my hand stops shaking, and I realize my heart calms down. It's a total system reboot. I wasn't just giving up alcohol. I was getting me back. I was getting my life back. So if you're thinking, yeah, but is it worth it? Hang on. Wait a minute. There's something that truly scared me. And I used to get these wild palpitations at night. Doctors call it AFib, right? And they usually give you some sort of medication and tell you it's all about lifestyle, blah, blah, blah. Nobody ever listens to that anyway. But it started becoming more and more constant, more of a problem. But now, it's almost completely gone. I mean, gone. Occasionally it comes up, but it's still like more of a flutter. And it's usually if I overeat later in the day or I'm super tired and stressed. But it's nothing like before. Nothing. I'm telling you. And that comes from learning to listen to your own body, which honestly you can't do when you're constantly numbing it with alcohol. That's just not possible. So that all comes down to also not realizing how foggy I was until the fog lifted. Now I can think clearly. I can focus. I can follow through. I mean, there were times I'd start a sentence and forget where I was going halfway through. You know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. Now I feel sharp again, not just mentally awake, but emotionally present. You've got to really understand how difficult you are coming across at times. And if you're trying to maintain relationships, it's not possible if your emotional and focus and your clarity is off because you're constantly having to use alcohol as a numbing device to survive and to live. It's true. And my energy, I'm not bouncing off the walls. And I've said in other videos, I still might take a nap once in a while. But I'm steady, I'm calm, I'm focused, I get stuff done without that frantic, anxious energy that alcohol used to leave behind. Another one of those, if you know, you know. So here's what really surprised me though. I thought I was going to miss the ritual. The glass in the evening, that buzz that you start getting after a couple glasses. But I didn't. what I actually missed and what I finally got back was me. The version of me who's not battling my body or my mind every single day. The person who's getting shit done now. The person who's taking care of business, taking care of myself, starting to take care of my house. And I'm the one who can trust my own thoughts, trust my hands to do what they're supposed to, trust my heart to beat correctly. I don't have to worry that it's going to be fluttering and having the feeling I'm going to wake up, my heart's going to give out, or I may have a heart attack. This was just 3 months in. I mean, this started happening at 4 weeks in. This started happening within a week. I'm telling you. And it just started getting better. And here we are, just over 3 months in, 1/4 of a year. And it's just the beginning. I'm lifting weights. I'm eating clean. I'm rebuilding my body and my life piece by piece. This isn't just being alcohol free. This is what I call a life renovation. And that's why this whole Lisa Renee project is called a renovation. I'm renovating. Everything had gotten torn down. Everything had started falling apart. And so I came in and I started doing a demolition. Once you get rid of all the bad shit, you allow for the good stuff to come back or to be able to rebuild, transform. I'm not stopping here. I don't want you stopping here. This is the foundation for the rest of my life. I'm not done. So, what's going on? What's happening after just 3 months in? I feel like this is the best time of my life. I feel like I'm actually starting to live life. So if you're thinking about quitting, or maybe you've just started, I want you to know it's not about what you're giving up. It's about what you're getting back, what you're getting right, what you're improving, your energy, your skin, your focus, your steadiness, your peace. Tell me in the comments, what have you noticed since quitting? Or what do you hope comes back? Now, I read every single one of the comments whenever I get a comment. And if this resonated with you, please hit that like button so more women can find it, because that helps the algorithm. And please subscribe if you're ready to renovate your life right along with me. I've got more videos coming on everything from fitness to the food I eat to mindset, and everything rebuilding your confidence after 60. I mean, it all can be done. And I want you to know you're not alone. You're never too old to start over. You're never too far gone to feel better. And sometimes what you really missed is you. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Lisa Renee Project, and I love you all as always.